Okay, so here we are for the second of 3 matches from the CyberGamer Invitational tonight. What we've got here is a bit of a bargain kind of basement game, if we're being honest about it. It's the mix of Viva Bizon, who have some names that are going to be kind of familiar. Some of you will remember Koth from back in the day. You'll see Shade there, who's been around as well, but basically it's a bit of a mix of people. The most famous player there, and the one that you're most likely to know, is probably going to be Jacob. He's certainly the most accomplished player in terms of LAN wins, and that may even be the case on the server full stop, not just on his team. So he's just been added as a merc for Viva Bizon, so he's going to be playing for them for the rest of the CyberGamer Invitational. You can see he's still got the Rasta Gaming, which is the community side of Reason Gaming now. You can still see that he's got that there in his avatar, and indeed we have got the spectator HUD this time around, which means I can do things like this. I can toggle off the X-ray if I want, and you can see Left 4 Dead Hunters come in, which is great and real nice feature for those who've not seen this overlay before. So and we've got Infused, who've already played the game tonight. For those that didn't catch it, they just lost 16-9 to Team Sylvester on the train. Did look at one point as if they were going to perhaps really cause an upset, but in the end their CT half not very good and they were caught out, so they're going to be looking to do a little bit better. Viva Bizon, in terms of where they are in the CyberGamer League, they're almost rock bottom. One team below them, a team called Recession, which I think might be a Fragmasters community side or something. So speaking of Fragmasters, we're hoping that it's going to be the third game. It's going to be Fragmasters versus Copenhagen Wolves. So if you're watching, do stay tuned. Spread the word around about the stream, because we are going to be doing more casting now that we've got a little bit more time. I've been real busy helping develop the new website, which is coming, and as well as that, of course, we've got the Heaven Media esports Heaven LAN event in Prague. So between that's really taken up a lot of my time. I haven't even had the time to be posting on the website about how I hate you all. So that's how busy I've been, which of course isn't true. Yeah. Love all of you, but anyway, so been incredibly busy, but we've got some time now, and 3 games, as I said, coming up. I apologise for the first cast. I understand that the mic was a little bit loud. XSplit is a fantastic piece of software and likes to reset my microphone settings, so there we have it. Now, predictions for this, I would say that given the nature of Viva Bizon's team and outlook, they're gonna be not really expecting a win, even with the addition of the skills of Jacob. They're not going to have that togetherness, that cohesion. Infused, of course, warmed up, and I was talking to Fearless in the break. They were disappointed with the result against Team Sylvester, and Fearless in particular. So got a knife round coming in. I'm going to leave the X-ray cam on. I do kind of like it, but if you want me to toggle it, you know, perhaps there's some feedback you can give for future casting. But let's just get it going, and you can see the very aggressive knife round. Infused on the CT side, just coming in, running and gunning. Whip's got 2, Zest's got 1. Just going all stab happy. It's like a Scouse disco, and then Koth manages to pick up 2 with his back to the wall. And in the end, not enough. So they're going to switch to the T side, which of course is the preferred side. It's not often teams switch these days. So, oh no, okay, no, they're just typing killing console. They're not actually going to switch. So I'm going to toggle the X-ray off. It's a little bit off-putting at the very start of the round. Good for clutch cam though. But so let's just ooze out of the CPU and let's see what kind of setup we've got here. Just having a look around, you can see it's fairly standard. You've got 2 going long, and well, this is going to be a fast B push. So let's have a look where everyone's poised. And you can see well, Ben Cobb has just jumped round the corner and glocked Fuds. Absolutely, again, when things like that happen, that's when you hate Counter-Strike at its most. And you can see that Zesty is just on that little rock outside, going to be thinking about having a little peek. And while he's doing that, you can see Raz is just having a look at a big box, but while all these flashes are coming over, you can see we get this ridiculous situation where they're both blind. It was Zesty recovered quickly enough, and Whip and Fearless have been doing the cleaning. Someone really wants to think about getting on the defuse though, because they're going to be running out of time. They need to take down Jacob, who was in those tunnels. It is going to happen, and of course it was a safe plant. Jacob couldn't have seen it anyway. They should have just gotten the defuse straight away, really, but wanted to do a thorough job. And a great little B retake there, but of course Bizon did get that plant. And that is going to give them some money, of course, which I'm sure they're going to use to buy their favourite gun, which of course is the Bizon. A ridiculous 64 bullet SMG. And, well, looking through those walls, you can see that they've got a bit of a stack going on at long. There's two there. You can see what's happening on B. They're going to run up short, and they're going to get that first kill again. Viva the Bizon. Jacob, this time, he's going to take down Whip. And you can see that there's all sorts of spraying going on. Flashes coming in. Very good organised flashes this is from Infused. Mark's managed to pick up the kills. Brilliant stuff from Mark. And you can see, well, you're perhaps right to love your ass off, because, yeah, just that gun. Just incredible kills. And again, there's just so much that hasn't really been explored in the meta game. We're laughing about these weapons, but of course, who's to say in CSGO they aren't actually going to be valid buys rather than something that you have to nerf. So Mark got a 4-man there, but Viva the Bizon have gone for AKs in this third round. So you're going to be working some picks, and you can see we've got passive on shorts, and Jacob using the X-ray vision of experience just to get up and pre-fire that spot, causing them to drop, which of course does give away short to a certain degree. It's a lot harder to defend from that kind of lower angle. So you can see that the defender has wrapped around and gone to sight boxes on A. But a very slow round from Viva the Bizon. You can see here we got Oleski just holding mid. He's going to get that flash out, which is just going to prevent Zest from just pushing. And well, it's a very strange split, but they've dropped down from short, gone to spawn, pushed mid at the same time, and going to hit B's. This is actually a very complicated and well executed strat, and you can see Jacob just dropping back here. They're going to smoke it off. And he can't see him in the smoke. Fearless is going to come through, but Jacob's going to get that headshot. He's just going to run through the smoke. Mark keeping the comedy gun from that first fire round, and Raz is just going to spray him down as he peeks through the smoke. Of course, we can see them perfectly thanks to their beautiful blue luminous outlines. But that is a round for Bizon. I gotta say, hugely impressive split onto B. The way they faked A, isolated the two on B by dropping down into spawn. That's a very clever strat. And Infused, I wonder what they're gonna do. Well, they're not gonna adjust, but this is gonna be an old style gung-ho and FUDs. You're gonna have to get cleverer than that, because they're gonna pre-fire that spot every time. And they've taken B now, because on a pistol round, they were able to retake this. But Infused, not with inferior guns and not the money to buy the deluge of flashes, you can see that it's going to cost them. And Shade's going to pick up a kill there. He's going to run out. Mark's going to get another one. He's having a good game. Runs out of bullets. Ben Koff is just going to get that final kill just to wind up the round. And Koff, again, people forget he did play to quite a high standard back in the day. He was part of a TLR and trying to think of the teams, but certainly TLR I think was the high point before he effectively retired from gaming. Does like to keep his hand in, has the odd dabble, and of course he's well known to a lot of his UK buddies. So Raz just going to go fast now at 2-all, just going to go fast. He's going to peek. He has spammed him there. He's going to get a nade as well onto that big box, but he's just the diversion, but he's picked up the kill anyway on Zesty. And you can see, if you look just out here in mid, there's two on the right side of those double doors. And this is going to be interesting, because Oleski is just out of sight. Well, he threw the flash at just the wrong time, just as Infused were pushing through, so they're going to get a kill, possibly a gun. You can see that that's making a difference now in that mid area. they've got to lock down, but of course, while that's happened, Viva Bizon have took B again, and they're really going to have to sort out what's happening on B bomb site. Infused. Jacob going to get a kill. Fearless is going to pick up another pistol kill. He's been doing very good with pistols tonight. And there's a nade there on Raz. Fearless just jumping up, has got an AK now. And he's going to get spammed in the back. He's going to quickly drop down. He's going to get one. Is he? Oh, he's going to stay for the spam. He is going to get it. Has he got time for the defuse, though? No, I don't know. I don't think he has. Not without a kit. 5, 4, 3. That's not going to happen. And there you go. In the end, it was a defuse away from a brilliant clutch from Fearless, who's, I got to say, he's looked like the sharpest tool in the Infused box, so to speak. So, very impressed with how he's been playing. So, and we can see, just having a quick look around here, that Infused, well, Fuds is, he's still in that position, and in that area. Well, he's not actually gone tight to that wall now, which is just as well, because if they do decide to come out of B, they're going to just run out, flash over, and just pre-fire there every time. So you've got to mix it up if you are playing B bomb site, especially because there's a very limited number of spaces you can actually be and be useful. You've got to keep the aggressive side guessing. Shade is now going to be just moving up short, going to get a flash, but you can tell from the angle that that's come up, he knows that they've dropped, and again, that does give them that height advantage, and it does allow you to get up and to work the kills. And there's another flash coming in again. He can see where it's come from. So just going to do a little flash over the top. Jacob's going to bounce one off the wall. So it's a sort of double flash that's going on. And it's Jacob who's going to peek, but in the end he's decided to kind of drop down back into that safe area on short. And it's Fuds who's got the first kill. But again, they've isolated this B bomb site. Shade and Benkoff coming in the wraparound. He's got shot in the back there. There's Shade, and it's Jacob that's got the last CT who on A, and now it's on Whip. No, Mark is still alive as well, my apologies. But Whip certainly the first there, first of the party. You can see they've got a very low HP one, so taking out him first needs to be the key. And I think that's Whip that's lagging. I certainly hope that's not my stream, but he's got one. He's using this like this benefit here, and it's Jacob again in this familiar position of being in the B tunnels, and nobody was looking at it. They went straight on the defuse, and they just set him up for that easy little clutch. And that's going to take Bizon 4 rounds to 2. So let's have a little look at the score charts. Jacob, the master, the rock, J-Rod as he likes to call himself, on 9 for 4 at the top of the score charts. Fearless on 5 for 3. Fuds really yet to get in the game, 1 for 5. Been absolutely dominated on B bomb site, which has been a huge area of weakness. Pretty much every round, well, I think every round that Bizon have won has resulted in a plant on B bomb site. So in terms of identifying where the weakness is, very clear cut. We've got flashes going over short, and they're not defending shot very aggressively. I'm guessing, I'm going to have a look, yeah, I'm guessing it's because it's going to be an eco round. So it is. Ben Kofka's held that virgin position, as I like to call it, where you just camp behind that door, wait for someone to push long. Certainly very frustrating if you're ever on the receiving end of that. You can see that Ben, though, is really tapping away and doing quite well. It's all on Fuds now with 30 HP and a deagle. I think he's just going to try and get a gun, but really, is there anywhere he can hide on this map from Viva Bizon? I think he's going to have a little try, and he's going to get up in the scaffolding. It's not a bad spot, but it is the kind of spot you would fully expect someone to check, and so the hunt begins for Fuds. And there's no doubt in my mind that Bizon are going to take this round, and I wonder if I'm going to get a prediction wrong tonight. I did think Infused to be better equipped to deal with this, but the late addition of Jacob certainly made a difference. Well, I've not found him yet. That is going to be the bomb. And I'm just staying with Fuds. You can see they're all having a look for him, but they haven't gone too aggressive to hunt him down. And I guess, you know, chances of him getting a gun were pretty slim because, well, nobody had died. So there you go. So it is 5 to 2 to Bizon. And Infused resorting to smoking up mid now, stopping any AWP picks from coming. And you can see it looks like we've got somebody going fast. Fuds is going to throw a flash into there. I don't like it when you pick, that's a great little pick from Zespal, but I really don't like it when you play from B doors on this. I think it basically gives too much leverage and leeway to the terrorists to come out. Like, you're much better off playing it from this area, actually in the site. One flash, a B site, and you're out there and you're giving them a plant. But while that's going on, you can see that they're just going to be working their way up short. There's been some smoke. Fearless is going to get a pick. Now, Ben Koff, who's, well, Mark, with a ridiculous crouch, and the head's just aligned like planets, but Aleski's going to use some of his 1.6 credentials to work a great little tap aim headshot in return, and you can see there's somebody on that box behind him. He's going to get another headshot here, so, and you can see that they've dropped below him Fuds, just, I think, thrown a nade, but if they do this, they're going to give Aleski the chance with a clutch, although 3 HP, very unlikely. But if they keep poking heads, well, that looked pretty good to me, Aleski. And Aleski, of course, he is the man who made the most ridiculous clutch I have ever seen on DE Nuke. If you want to watch it, there's a video called Aleski clutching it. Just watch it. It is brilliant. I love posting it. It's one of my favourite CSS vids. It's just so fundamentally bad. I think you'll all be in stitches. But Bizon kind of throwing that one away, but it was thanks to the crouching headshot mastery of Mark. That round did go the way of Infused, really stopped him getting up short and defended it, so good for him. You can see Fearless now, who we've not really been watching a lot of, just kind of holding long, and they're all in this kind of mid area. Looks like they're heading towards B tunnels. Perhaps they're going to fake short. And oh, well, there you go again, Mark with another little headshot. So he's showing his experience with that FAMAS, and again, well, he went round. He kind of read the situation well with the pre-fire, but that is going to give them short, so they're running up there now. Flash is coming in. That's going to stop the fast push. Then a nade, so Shade's going to get a face full of that. And it's Raz who's got the bomb. So it's him that they need to be mindful of. Again, bomb won't have been spotted by Infused. Raz has been very careful in terms of revealing his position. Flash coming in. You can see stealthing his way in. Well, all the good it's going to do with his mates running behind him like a team of elephants. And Fuds is going to get a flash, crouch, spray, double kill, and all to do for Shade now. So going to come in and get that bomb. No way that's happening. So Infused composing themselves. Deep breaths, guys, and they've put themselves in a position now where they can tie up the game at 5-all, because I'm pretty sure we are going to see an eco from Viva Bizon, and you can see, yep, Jacob has got that deagle, so let's quickly get on to him. I'm very intrigued. I'm saying that, I've gone right the way through, past him, here he is. So he's going to be pushing long, and there's not actually going to be anyone home. The rest look like they're going to be doing some sort of fast, short push, and it's Aleski again, nice little Glock headshot, face full of nades, but this time they've just tried to run out, not a good idea. Jacob missing deagle shots, and in the end, Raz, last man standing, but that is going to tie it up now for Infused, so 5-all. It's been, again, pretty close game, and Infused, well, it's weird because they've been weak on B, and Bizon, I guess, perhaps just lower averages. You do have to throw some in at A to keep people guessing, or you're just going to get stacked out of it. You can't go B every round, but ultimately they've only won, you know, I think it was one round on A. I don't even think they have. I'm trying to remember. It's all just such a blur in my mind, but certainly B has been the weak bomb site. So I'm not even sure they've had a plant on A. I don't remember it. So, but this time, Viva Bizon have just kind of run and gunned their way out of short. And you can see what Raz is trying to do. Just going to go for that spam. And again, you can see from the outline, it was pretty good. It was on him. But this looks like, I'm not too sure where's the bomb at. So, Jacob's gone for the drop. And that was why the bomb was in CT spawn. Absolutely criminal to take it there. But in the end, it's worked out well for them. Now, are they going to go for the full rotate and go to B? I mean, they must know Zesty's on that side. Now, if Zest can get into that position with the AWP, got a chance of a kill, but not going to be able to stop this plant. Missed that shot. Position given away. Flash coming in. Doesn't even double flash. So now he's going to have to run out towards T-spawn area. And slashing walls. Just going to have to play for exits. Really just flashed out of it and just pushed. Far back, and you can see they're all rotating to the other site. So bomb's going to go off, and MVP to Jacob for planting the bomb. So let's have a quick look at the frag charts while we're talking about MVPs. Jacob, he was doing really well, and now he's doing just okay. 11 kills, 7 deaths. Been the one that's kind of just been running at the fire. Mark, who's been impressive, isn't the top overall on points, but is on frags. And again, you've got to kind of put this Call of Duty point system in, so it's not just frags on the score chart. So technically, Fearless is the strongest player, but he hasn't made the most kills. And Mark's got another double. It's amazing because I actually thought Mark was going to be the weakest link in this team because, you know, he's been around for a long time. If I remember right, I think he played with like Hoods G before Hoods was like even a big name back in like 2005 or something. So it's fairly ludicrous to think of a player that's been in and out of the game for that long kind of doing that well, but certainly has. Jacob doing some great little controlled aims there, but of course while I'm just rambling about the past incoherently, you can see that it is Jacob now in a clutch situation. Health incredibly low, 3 HP. He's gonna time that flash to perfection. He needs to get that headshot, hasn't. That's surely gonna be the round unless we see something absolutely amazing when he's timed this well as well, that flash. But in the end, Fud's just positioned to get it. But again, you can see Jacob's brain, it's incredibly sharp. And it's funny because an incidental story, another bit of story time from an old Counter-Strike source veteran. There was a time when he was trialling for an Infused team that got put together, the Fateful team that had the Australian Tegs from Sydney Underground in the CGS in, which flopped quite hard at the I-Series they attended, and Jacob was in contention to play on that team, and in the end they decided not to go with him. I had a little bit of input, and at the time I didn't think he was being a particularly great team player. He kind of seemed to be a little bit, you know, not tactically astute. That was my perception anyway. It worked out pretty good because, as we know, that team went to I-Series and flopped hardcore, and Jacob went on to play in teams like Demonic, who you know, got third at LAN 79, the last LAN 79. So he certainly improved as a player, or maybe it was always there and we didn't just know what to look for. But certainly, when you talk about players who've come on leaps and bounds in the last few years in the UK, Jacob definitely fits that bill. So that's Jake McCausland, if you want to use his God-given name. Anyway, we've well, all that's been going on. It's now 7-6 in favour of Infused. Bizon, though, doing pretty well, a lot better than I expected. Infused haven't really been able to lock it down, but they have got the momentum going into these last 2 rounds. And you can see that, well, that's just great little pick through the smoke there. Mark perhaps strayed a bit too far, a little bit aggressive, trying to get a kill in lower B. That's going to give him the pick, and this looks like a fairly standard A split. Lesky with the AWP, just going to be holding it long, just going to let his teammates get out. Going to check pit, they're going to get away with it, and they're going to get crab clawed here Infused, and they've not really read the situation. Good use of cover from Whip, really needs to make these kills count, and isn't doing that at all. Missed some fairly standard shots. You would expect better from a player of his caliber. Fuds with a brilliant little flick headshot there, though, in response. But look at this. He's spamming it. It's like he suspects. He even jumped, and that allowed him to get the kill. So I guess the fact that he hadn't been called as being anywhere else allowed him, but you could see that he was pretty confident there was someone there. And Fud's just coming out. He's going to check pit. Aleski's waiting for him and going to get that kill. Jacob going to mop it up. That's another round for Bizon, so it's tied up at 7-all. And we'll just have a quick look at the frag charts now before we go into the final round. 14 for 9 now for Jacob. He's gone at the top and stayed there, 10 points ahead of Ben Koff, who, again, it's very surprising how well he's done. Fearless leaps to the top. You can see a little cluster of Infused players. Perhaps the disparity between their performance is not as big if the points or anything to go by. So, penultimate round, going to be interesting to see who takes it. Although in terms of this map, it's very open. So I'm just going to quickly get back to first-person view. Very passive here from Infused, but as I say that, it's Mark again. I don't know if he's giving them some cheap frags on short when he's playing this aggressive. I think you've got to put the onus on the terrorist side to be the first to peek. Give yourself that advantage. That looked pretty much on him from Oleski, but as we know, you definitely have to be stopped in this game. And as they run round, well, I'm not sure I like that when I see jumping things. I know Shade jumped around the corner, did get the kill on Fuds. Again, he read the situation brilliantly and put himself in a position but just wasn't able to seal the deal with the frags. So it's all on Fearless again. Pretty sure Viva Bizon are going to get this last round as terrorist. And it's going to be interesting to see what Infused do, because certainly they've already had a defeat tonight. And they're about mid-table in the CyberGamer Invitational. They're not going to want it to go much worse for them with a loss to the second from bottom side. I know they were a little bit concerned. They were asking questions about Jacob's addition to the side, and there we go. It is 8-7 for Bizon. Not negatively, not in the terms of what's he doing on the roster, but they were perhaps a little bit surprised to be up against him tonight. As I said, it is a recent addition, and it's definitely told, because looking quite good here, Bizon. So 8-7 now. So and we're going to go straight into the pistol. Of course, that's the good thing about CSGO as well now. There's no more need for the restarts. And we got a little short stack here, which is good. Doing the little boosts on the drop box. You can see Infused really just kind of holding mid, waiting for a push, waiting for someone to peek. Not really an anti-strat, but what they're doing is they're adopting a default and they're trying to read the game and play off their strats. Now we're going to get a call about action on short. Mark with the first 5 foots is going to answer back. Whip almost getting some sort of horrendous team kill, but he is going to turn around at the right time and get Raz. Fuds in the meantime is going to seal that deal. So they've done the right thing there. In the end, it was kind of the inactivity that really worked in their favour. Jacob going to get taken down to tie this up as an 8-all game, and we would expect in CSS, certainly in 1.6, to see the next round go the same way as the team that won, but certainly that hasn't been the case tonight, because we've already seen a couple of ecos of the pistol rounds in the previous game. But again, it's been played at a much slower pace. It's been an excellent game. There's been some nice little tactics, funnily enough, from the mixed team. And we just got some Galil spam. I prefer the old plastic looking Galil, by the way. And you can see, just looking through the walls here, that Viva Bizon have got kind of a mini stack on B. There's 3 there, and they're in kind of a sequential position. One's going to actually make a peek now, and you can see that they've called one in there. So that's going to give them the option on Shade now to just sort of drop back. He doesn't need to be the peeker. He doesn't need to go aggressive. There's a bit of a standoff here, but the bomb is in there. And Zest is just going to put that flash in. Think they're going to drop. Maybe that's good reading by them, because they're reading that you know what, if there's one there, there's probably more than one. Bit of a stack. You can see we've already had an exchange long, and we got some low HP. They're going to come up, but it's going to be too late, because they're going to be up short, and they're going to be straight into the killing fields. So would not like to be, I'm trying to get there, would not like to be Ben Koff now, because he's in a position where he could have been crab clawed and killed. Should have been, really, but they've just gone for a safe plant. They're all grouping up nice and close. Zesty, who held outside of B tunnels, knew that there was at least one on B, so he's just holding free. He's going for the little spam here, just going to get back into this safe area. Not going to risk it, giving them any cheap kills. Shade is going to pick up one, but it doesn't matter. Zest is going to hold that nerve and take down Shade in response. So that's going to put Infused in the lead, 9-8, and didn't get eco'd this time. Just looking at the buys, coming in thanks to the wonderful spectator HUD. And yeah, we got a bit of a sort of a deco eco and sawn off shotgun from Mark, so he's going to take up that virgin spot, and it'll be interesting to see. But it looks like we got a bit of a push. Yeah, a little bit of a push kind of, and we got that 3 on B stack again, which Infused, to be fair, read perfectly last time. So Raz is just going to get into this little nice. I do like this spot as well. Add something a little bit different to the bomb set. But while that happens, Whip's going to get those 2 kills. Mark's going to be pushing out along with his shotgun. And again, they've been pretty isolated here thanks to those flashes. So that's good reading of the game again from Infused. They're now going to be able to push up onto the A site. Pick up another kill there thanks to Fearless. Let's quickly get on Raz. And you can see that it's Zaleski that's going to be leading the way. Well, it's a stack on shot. Great little running backward. Deagle headshot. He's immediately taking fire from mid, and didn't make that count. Fuds just pushes round, knows that he's going to be dry firing pretty soon. Picks up that kill, and now we got a bit of daylight. First time really for Infused to kind of get that daylight, use that momentum. And going to be interesting to see now. I actually looked like we saw some Famises, so I'm wondering if that Deagle bite came into play, or whether that's just a way to lock down the opportunity to at least do a double rifle buy back to back. But you can see 2 Famises there on Shade and Benkoff. I don't feel a Famis is as useful in CSGO as it was in CSS or 1.6 either. I feel like it is a bit of a nerfed gun, and the burst fire certainly is not a headshot machine in the same way. I don't know whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but certainly it makes those secondary tier rifles not as good. And that was pretty poor crosshair positioning there from Oleski. I mean, you know, if someone's going to be coming into your eye line there, it's going to be pretty much behind that box, and it's going to be a lot easier to flick from there into non-cover than it is to flick from, you know, being aimed out in the open to a very tiny specific spot. So I'm going to stay with him because, as you can see from the ghost vision, yeah, he is going to get that kill on Fuzz. It was Fuzz who did the shoulder peek to kind of get that smoke, I believe it was, out, just to try to shut him off. But in the end, has done it. And Aleski's going to get another pick on Mar. Is he going to get a third? Should have had a third. Misses a fairly standard shot. Zest's going to go into the unstoppable crouch and get a kill. So let's quickly get on Zest. Now, he's going to be sat in this smoke, is he? No, he's going to just slowly wander out. Now, that's interesting because they won't have seen him make it there. So the person who's just going to run towards him does get that kill, Raz. But really, I would have said, I don't know, he shouldn't have made that. I feel like position-wise, that was good, but just didn't quite work out. So anyway, Viva Bizon do take that round. Nice little answer on the CT side of things to make it 10-9 in favour of Infused. Let's have a quick look at the frag charts again. Jacob, MVP, really starting to pull away from the rest of his teammates now with 43 points, 16 for 13. And Fearless on 15 for 9 is the top, but only just Whip and Mark not far behind him. And Mark, well, that's going to take your points off. He's going to get some kind of hilarious team kill, but does get a kill immediately back. So this is a deco stroke eco push. Whip's going to get another one, and Viva Bizon have been really dominated on B here, but answering back now with a nice little retake. The flashes and the nades, the superior weaponry doing its stuff, but a good plant, a good eco round, even if it was over a little bit prematurely from Infused, and Bizon in the end tie the game up. And you can see that there's I don't know if this is about lack of strength in the UK scene or strength in the UK scene, but the fact that Infused, who are a sponsored team, an experienced team, an established team, are effectively level pegging with a mix of players who have different backgrounds. I don't know if that means that when it comes to Counter-Strike, the UK is really strong, or actually that even the top tier teams are not that top tier. I will let you draw your own conclusions. Probably it's not fair of me to make my own, given that I know all the players and don't particularly want to say anything negative about them unless it's absolutely necessary. So we've got some action kind of going on along, bit of an exchange. Well, I'm hoping you're blind, Raz. I'm really hoping. That was some ridiculous spray. Down to 13 HP, and he's going to drop into the CT spawn area, Raz. which again, we've seen a lot of that in this game. People not really being able to hold short. Oleski's going to make that AWP sing again, but Fearless is going to out-AWP him with a little crouch peek in mid. I guess you wouldn't be expecting that. It is a bold move. I guess that's why they call him Fearless. And we got a flash coming in. Ben Koff's going to get that kill on Whip. So Whip was expecting the person to be positioned where he kind of went for, but wasn't expecting the person to be close door. Shade is just going to get taken out now, and Infused have suddenly got this bomb site. They are going to get this plant. I don't think Ben's going to be in a position to stop them. Certainly not Solo, and he wants to just wait and bide his time because Jacob is coming and Raz as well. So here's the flash going over from the J-Rod. So far the star player read that brilliantly. Great little tap shot. He's going to get the spray kill. It's all on Fearless. Fearless again with another clutch for Infused. It is all about Fearless right now. He is the player that's been having his Weetabix. He is the player that's been warming up. He is the player that's been on deathmatch. Consistently great. And that's another clutch. And that's a clutch at a vital time to take it to 11-10. And wow, did that tag? No, it didn't. Looked like it had. But seeing more famous buys from Viva La Bizon. So they're going to want to turn this around. But it's such a close game right now. It's got to be said. And Raz just trying to hold short. I got a feeling he's going to drop. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, I'm flashed. I'm going to give him short again. Which, arguably, it's better than standing and trading and dying. But, of course, giving them short, and you can see that they're gonna call it. They're gonna be able to use it very soon. We get the flash over in mid, which forces Raz into going aggressive. Not sure that was a good call, but he felt like he was gonna get pushed. The bomb's been thrown up on short by Zest. They know, I think, that there's someone Goose, but they're now just gonna work this A split. I think they have got backup coming from long. Marks is going to spam through that smoke. He did get a flash as he did it. And Oleski, well, that's brilliant from him. Absolutely brilliant. What a great three, man. I'm glad we got there in time to see that. But I don't think it's going to be enough to win the round. Certainly, it's going to make it more respectable. It's going to give Shade a chance. They are coming from that lower position. Oh, and there you are. Well, he's going to be lights out. It's the Grave-style smoke. That's going to obscure him. He was on. Well, he still had health to deal with, but in the end, Mark pulled out his Deagle and just blew him away. He was actually winning that exchange until the Deagle was drawn. And that's going to make it 12-10, but here we go. I think for the first time, we're going to really see a gap open up because we have now got a full eco. Remember those famous buys. So this does not bode well for Bison. It's going to be something pretty special. They haven't bothered to smoke it either, so we're going to have that call there that, you know, two have crossed. And the bomb, they're just going to leave it down outside of B bomb site. Whip's going to get that spam kill. And this is a nice little boosted, but again, Zesty's just read that well. Shade was in a good little position. You feel he should have at least made the kill. Even with the pistol, it's Oleski. I'll tell you what, he's been very impressive this game. Really enjoyed watching him play. Made some big kills at big times, but it just goes to show all the talk about 1.6 has not been able to pick up this game. I know Oleski's good in source as well, but certainly I think he's just a good all-round player. One of the best that the UK have produced all-round. Just never really hit the same heights as some of the more kind of, you know, bigger names, the Wezzes, the Rattlesnakes, the people, you know, obviously the Manjacapras, the 1.6 legends. But I think people do forget about his huge pedigree. And again, while I'm bigging him up, not for the first time tonight, he is going to get that first kill. But what we're not talking about, while I'm rambling away, is that Infused have got that 3-gap lead now, 13 for 10. Are they going to start to run away with it? And again, we're seeing Famouses being deployed. This time it's Jacob's turn to get the square rifle, and you can see as well Shade's got one. So money has been tight. tight. It has been frugal. It has been like a Greek honeymoon. Absolutely terrible economy going on right now from Viva Bizon, and perhaps they've been a little bit more austere in some of the earlier rounds. They'd not be finding themselves in this situation because an AK is going to chew up a FAMAS every time in a head-to-head battle, and Benkoff's going to get a spam there, whip. Certainly with a little help from Jacob, who was acting more as a distraction than anything else. I wouldn't say he was really doing damage. He's going to run into a face full of flash, and you can see that Infused have got out on short. They're going to get up onto this bomb site. We're going to stay with Jacob. They know he's there. They've read that situation, and Zesty's going to take him down. Is this going to make it 14-10? I think it's looking pretty good. Raz, though, is creeping round. I can't believe it. They really don't know he's there. He's got to make this count. He's got to make more than one kill. He has. No, he's going for that little tap shot on short, and all of a sudden this round has turned on its head. But Fuds fighting away, last man standing. In the end, it was Aleski coming from the underpass to make the clutch. I thought Fuds was going to pull out the unthinkable. Jacob really. And there we go. So it's only 13-11, not 14-10, but at one point like Infused were going to run away with it, and it was Aleski that got the vital kill. But certainly Raz, who I would say hasn't had a strong game. You can see he's down there kind of on 42 points, but certainly not as weak in terms of overall team contribution as Shade, again, if we can truly trust this point system. But yeah, not had a great game, but really turned around on its head there, so credit where it is due. And this is a fast B push from Infused, and you can see this is going to end very badly because they didn't get into the site. They weren't in a position to defend it. They've given away 2 guns. They've given away 2 kills, and now Infused suddenly in a position. But are they just, well, what is going on there? I skipped just in time as he marked. Just missing shots that he really shouldn't be missing. Raz is going to get a beautiful little headshot there. He's going to come round. Zest, of course, has picked up that up, so he's going to get a kill. But they've dropped in. Are they expecting the man to be close? No, it's all on Zesty. Oh, my word. And Jacob with the clutch now. But these rounds have been coming down to 1v1s, and they're not even particularly going one team's way all the time. But Viva Bizon are going to be absolutely ecstatic because that is going to make it 13 for 12. They're still within touching distance. Infused haven't run away with this. And 25 rounds played, and we can't really separate the teams. This game could still absolutely go either way, and in many ways much more entertaining than the first game we casted tonight, simply because of how close it's been. So, and the game that we are bringing you after this is going to be FM Toxic versus Copenhagen Wolves. That is going to be the classic of the night. I feel like that's certainly got the most talent on display. All due respect to the rest of the players, I feel that's the one where we're potentially going to see some real Counter-Strike. And, you know, I could be wrong. Maybe that's harsh on the other guys, but I just feel those teams have got some great names. So let's get on Aleski cam. And yep, the smoke's going to come in, so he's going to time it a little bit. I think go for a spam. You can see that he's going to flash through that smoke, and there's the nade going off, which is going to give it a little bit of opacity, which of course you can actually use that to your advantage. That is a bug I'm sure Valve are going to address at some point. And again, the gentleman's agreement about Molotovs in place, and something again that's going to be addressed rather not by Valve, and I don't think Valve should have to make fundamental changes to their game, but certainly by leagues and ladders. Raz is going to get that first kill. Whip's going to answer back. All of a sudden, it's Shade and Aleski, and Aleski's just doing his whack-a-mole impression, and it works because he gets Fuds, but he's not going to get the next one. Fearless has been loving it. He's been loving the opportunity to take Aleski down a peg or two, but usually by the time he's done it, Aleski's done his damage, and Shade just jumping up in the boxes. He's going to give his position away. Flash going away. He's going to go for the spray. Fearless. I think he was going for the knife, to be generous. So that's going to tie it up at 13 rounds to all, and 3 rounds left. Really couldn't call how this is going to go. So if you are watching it, perhaps you might want to spam some predictions. I'm not even looking at the chat. I think between games I probably will take the opportunity to look at the chat maybe, but certainly I hope it's been an enjoyable match. I actually enjoyed casting this one. I was a little bit disgruntled when between the 2 games I saw this fixture, and I was like, oh god. But actually been quite good. And Aleski with a double nade kill. Not seen a lot of nade kills. Aleski's going to pick up a 3rd. He's going to pick up that pistol kill, and he's going to pick up a 4th. Sorry, so actual 4-man from Aleski. Sir Leonard of Lockdown on bomb site B, just absolutely bossing it. And well, he's got to be in a position to be MVP now. Let's have a quick look. Yes, I thought so. 64 points, sneaking ahead for Viva Bizon, ahead of the great Jacob. 25 kills, 21 deaths, 64 points. Absolutely brilliant. You have a quick look at Fearless, though. No doubt about his contribution. I feel he's been the strongest player for Infused overall from both games. 22 kills, 14 deaths, 64 points. But in the end, it doesn't matter because his team are now trailing. They had a 3-round advantage. They're now 14-13 down. Incredible comeback on the cards from Bizon. At one stage, it looked like the game was just going to slip away from them, but not happening now. So, and just having a look at the guns, well, Bizon, of course, doing fine, but economically speaking, Infused have managed to save their pennies, and they have got a full buy going on. I'm staying with Aleski. They're not going to go near him again, are they? They're going to go short. It's time for a bit of A action, and Zesty's a little bit out of position here, I feel like. I don't like it when the AWPer drops into lower B, because obviously if he gets pushed here and misses his shot, which, you know, it can happen, what happens then is you invariably die and you lose the AWP. So, but while that's been going on, Mark and Whip have decimated that A site. So now it's open. Is there somebody at long, though? And Aleski, well, he's going to just be watching crossover. Again, this is standard. You're going to smoke it. And you can see crossover's on somebody there, but obviously smoke obscuring his view. And, well, it is Aleski all alone. He's not going to save, though, I don't think. Or is he? You should, really, Aleski. Yeah, and he is. He's not going to go for a clutch. So Infused are going to tie this up. And it could really go any way, but I just got a feeling that, well, I don't know, Bizon, even though they had a run of wins just prior to this, they always seem to be spending money just left, right and centre, and I just wonder what this round's going to do for their economy. Again, we've talked already about the way that the game is set up now, not to be very forgiving, but no, it is a full buy. We've got flashes going on. Shade's going to be able to afford it. Raz on the Famous, because obviously he's been struggling. And Fearless now, well, he's going to wait for the second. And that is a tag, you can see there, second down. So the danger man, the man with the hot hands, Aleski, taken down at 25 HP with a little 75 tag through the door. So well done, Fearless. Again, in that personal duel, Fearless has come out on top, but certainly Aleski's had the better of everyone else on Infused. So, and let's see, can Aleski redress it? Again, when you're an AWPer, you can even when you've got low HP, you can still do the damage. Great little long flash from him. He's going to just drop back now and kind of sure up B. And you can see that Infused are just kind of holding this mid area. They don't want to overcommit. They're saying to Bizon, come on, peek us, peek us. We want this advantage. And you can see he's just spamming their whip, holding that door in that virgin spot that we like to say. I'm patenting that. That's what it's going to be called. Spamming that door. You can see that Ben Koff. He's gonna spam back. He's gonna give away that he's there. But you can see that Jacob's really close, and that's what's gonna happen. Whip's gonna go into the spray. Jacob's gonna come round. Yeah, Whip is gonna fall. But while that's been going on, if Infused have managed to creep out, I tell you what, Mark, you're not going to miss many more shots than that in as close a proximity, but that's going to give them the advantage. Benkoff as good as dead on 6 HP, and Infused look like they're going to take this to 15 rounds, absolutely, unless the J-Rod can come up big. And he's done some damage there, but he's took some. He's on 47 HP. They all know where he is. In the end, Zesty's going to peek and take him. So match point for Infused, but of course, there's only one round left. Bizon could force a 15-all draw. Infused are going to feel aggrieved, I think, if they don't take it. But Bizon really have had two outstanding performances in the form of Aleski and Jacob. And I guess Ben Kofk as well. You can certainly say he added to it, but overall, just in terms of quality, Infused have probably just edged it for me, probably. And Aleski again tagged, that's huge. That is the kind of thing that can secure you the round, because he's been dropped down now into nading distance of death. So, and you can see Koff on a famous buy, Aleski on a famous buy, Jacob on a famous buy. I think Raz and Shade have deagles. This is not good. This is not the position you want to be in when you're fighting to get something out of a game. And Jacob's read it. Bamis is just about going to do it. He's gone straight into some tap shot, but Whip's gone down, and he's not acquitted himself with a lot of glory. There's no way you should be getting outgunned in that situation. Mark's going to answer back. Perhaps he shouldn't have been taken down at all, though. Perhaps he should have had some backup. That's something for them to argue about on Mumble. But this is absolutely tense. And Shade's going to get spammed through that door, but you can see they've got low HP people as well. Infused. This round is not over by any means. It's not in the books. And all it's going to take is that one moment of brilliance. Is Zesty going to be the one to come up with that? He's just jumping around. I think he's trying to like get that little bit of leeway. He's looking in the wrong spot, so he's going to get dinked with a headshot. But backup has arrived. The cavalry is here. They know that it looks like it's going to be B now. It's going to be B where the game is decided. Oleski has got one kill, but Mark and Fuds have answered back. So Oleski's out of the equation now. And now it's Raz and Ben Koff. They've both got full HP. They've probably got... it was about the same overall until that exchange in hell. So although they had a numerical advantage, Infused certainly. Bizon can do something about this, and they're going for the spam through the smoke. Raz, though, in the end, didn't make it count. Infused hold their nerve, and there you go. It's 16-14. Bizon will stay in the doldrums, down in the lower echelons of that league, and the CyberGamer Invite League, whereas Infused will get something for their endeavours today. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that one. Now we're going to quickly jump over to the next game, which is going to be FM Toxic Copenhagen Wolves. I'm expecting something very special, so do stay tuned. We're going to be right back.